Chapter 1 and 2, for how I view the world, has more material than the last 4 chapters that we're going to cover put together. So students get worked up about how many chapters are we going to cover this semester, and you shouldn't get worked up about that, because a chapter means nothing. The terms core competency and competitive advantage are the most important terms that any business has. The word core competency means at the core. What is at your core? When you talk about core exercises, this is your core. So a core competency is what you do really well, and usually what you do really well gives you a competitive advantage. And so I have asked my students, what are the core competencies for McDonald's? And I had them list these things. And so this was a brainstorming event where students listed it for me. And they said that McDonald's is good at getting food fast, that they've trained their employees well. They are everywhere. They have the Big Mac. They have French fries. They have the 1 dirham ice cream. They have a Happy Meal. They have standards. They have high quality standards for food. Does McDonald's have high quality standards for food? I don't know. They're good at the fact that you can order from an app. They have delivery, okay? So all these things are core competencies. All these things are things that McDonald's does well. But not all of them are actually a competitive advantage, okay? Because in today's world, you can get delivery from pretty much anywhere, thanks to all the different delivery apps out there. So delivery isn't necessarily a competitive advantage. Getting it to you fast isn't a competitive advantage, because there are other companies that can get you things fast too. So not everything that McDonald's does, not every one of their core competencies is a competitive advantage, okay? So when I asked students what is the core competencies, they came up with these things, but not all of them. I agree with all the list of core competencies, but not all of them were competitive advantages. Something that makes it a competitive advantage is what you're able to offer that the other companies are not able to offer. And so now in the UAE, the fact that they're everywhere, this is actually a competitive advantage for McDonald's now. And by the way, I've been here so long, I remember when Al Ain only had 2 McDonald's, the Khalifa Street and Jimmy Mall. That was, when I first came in 2008, I'm pretty sure those are the only 2 McDonald's in the entire city. Now, everywhere you go, there's a McDonald's. So that's a competitive advantage. You know that there's going to be a McDonald's everywhere, so that's a competitive advantage. They're French fries. Let's face it, nobody in the world makes French fries as good as McDonald's. I wish they weren't so good. I wish they weren't as good as they are. Their standards for food. Now see, I put a star by this as competitive advantage. McDonald's has high quality standards for food in that anywhere you go in the world, you know that what you eat at McDonald's will not make you sick. A lot of other companies have issues with their food quality. I'm not aware of anybody ever getting sick eating McDonald's food. If you eat it too long, you'll get really fat and whatever, but okay. So I think I made the point. The terms competitive advantage and core competency, they're just super important. If you don't have a competitive advantage, you're going to go out of business. Core competency and competitive advantage are super important terms. Ask yourself this, why would anybody pay 1.5 dirhams for a bottle of water at ADNOC when it is half the price at Carrefour? Why? The answer is convenience. So a competitive advantage can be almost anything. And in the case of ADNOC has the competitive advantage over Carrefour because it's everywhere and you can get in and out quickly, and so people are willing to spend 1.5 dirhams for a bottle of water at ADNOC, they're not going to be willing to go stand in line and wait at a Carrefour and spend half the price. Competitive advantage. Whatever it is, you do better than your competitors. If you don't have a competitive advantage, eventually you will go out of business. Like Herfy at Jimmy Mall went out of business. You just need to know that Herfy's major disadvantage was the fact that it serves Pepsi while McDonald's serves Coke. If you don't learn anything else in my class, it's that Coke is better than Pepsi. Nothing else I teach comes close to that importance.